John Donnison, BBC News, in Soweto province.
Let's turn to the conflict in Ukraine now, and close allies of the country will be meeting later today, with the UK expected to call for increased arms deliveries to Kyiv. The UK Defence Secretary will call for a 50-day drive to arm Ukraine as much as possible. It's hoped that adding that increased military support will force Russia back to the negotiating table. Earlier this month, President Trump said that he would sell US weapons to NATO countries to be given to President Zelensky. Well, on Sunday night, Ukraine suffered yet another wave of Russian drone and missile strikes. 2 people were killed and several wounded. Well, let's speak now to Christina Kstrakis. She's the ambassador of the Foundation for the United Nations, and she joins us from Kyiv. Christina, it's good to have you on BBC News. First of all, just tell us about what you saw and heard on Sunday night.
Well, it was mayhem. It was really crazy night with a lot of shooting, drones, missiles flying. We have a house right in the center of the city, so all these attacks were happening around us. And as you can see, because Ukraine cannot fully close its sky, and in this case, even the capital, because of the lack of the weapons, and that's why Ukraine needs them desperately. And waiting just prolongs the attacks and the results and the consequences. And as you can see, Russians are targeting civilians, children sleeping in their beds, elderly, whole families. So what has happened is that about 15 targets were hit because of the security reasons. For about 80%, we cannot even talk about them. Out of what is known, the civilian apartment complex called Lvivsky Quarter was hit with civilians living there, and that's in Podil area. That's like old center of Kiev. So we are seeing that they're able to attack closer and closer to central areas. I mean, to the areas like Maidan or even presidential quarter, which were out of reach before. Once again, because of the lack of the weapons to protect the capital. The other area that was hit was actually a civilian subway station. And the civilians were hiding inside of the subway station at the time of the attack. So we see that if Russia cannot win at the front lines, what they're doing is the terrorist tactic of attacking people, civilian people, in the middle of the night. I do not believe that you can negotiate with a terrorist, and Russia is a terrorist state. We see that Russia is not ready for any peace negotiations, so 50-day is a joke. And of course, I think Russia is responding by killing and attacking civilians in Ukraine to what U.S. has said, that we will whoop your butt, basically, and that Trump is supposed to make some decisions. I'm an American, and I'm still waiting for that to happen because I'm here with a 9-year-old son and husband. And for me, 50 days is a joke. So it will not change anything. It will just prolong the whole period of suffering and attacks on Ukraine. Plus, we have 160,000 troops, Russian troops, gathering at the border ready to attack Ukraine and the capital as a counterattack once again. Also, it's a result.
Christina, yeah, of course, it's an incredibly terrifying time for you and for your family. And I think it's fair to say that it's terrifying for families on both sides of this conflict. And we're just, of course, reporting as well about that sustained Ukrainian drone attack on Russia, which caused Moscow's major airports to be temporarily closed and saw at least 140 flights cancelled as well. I want to ask you really about what your work is as well, because you're the Ukrainian ambassador for the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Of course, at the moment, it's just about ending the conflict, but what your work is in terms of trying to rebuild a post-conflict Ukraine whenever that conflict does end.
Our focus right now is humanitarian, and ever since the full-scale invasion has happened, on the third day, we opened a humanitarian hub. We had over 5,000 people dislocated IDPs living at our hub in the west of Ukraine. We had a humanitarian aid hub opened, and we haven't stopped since. We're supplying front lines, we're supplying hospitals, we are supplying orphanages with IDPs. So our mission right now has switched from SDG, right, Sustainable Global Development Goals, to actually helping and saving displaced people, people at the front line, civilians, children, elderly, even animals, because all of these groups are suffering tremendously.
Okay.
And
thank you very much, Christina.
That's where the help is needed.
Thank you. Christina Kstrakis, thank you as well. And do please stay safe as those strikes continue.
Thank you.